Hello, I'm Dr. Noelle Lucas from Blue Oasis Pet Hospital, and I'm here to help answer some questions that you might have about what foods may be harmful to your cat. I have an assistant here that's going to ask me some questions that you might have about harmful cat foods.
So, Dr. Lucas, how do I know what foods are toxic to cats?
So you don't necessarily know unless you have a food that's given to your cat, or it gets into some food and then has some consequences like vomiting or diarrhea. But there is some foods that we know are harmful to your cat, and some of those could be things that you might think about feeding them. For example, milk or dairy products. Cats are actually lactose intolerant, so having them drink or lick cow's milk or eat cheese out of the refrigerator can actually make them feel kind of sick, make them have vomiting or diarrhea. Things that you might not give your cat but they might get into would be like foods with onion or garlic in it. So that would be maybe some pasta sauces. They might overindulge in those and can make them sick. Grapes and raisins, and again, probably not something that they're going to eat too much of, but those can be toxic to your cat. Avocados can cause GI upset, and don't forget about raw meat. So cats are carnivores, and raw meats are highly desired, of course, by cats because they're protein, but they are sources of contamination, so like E. coli or salmonella, which can actually make them sick and also us sick.
Can we feed cats human food?
So yeah, there are human foods that can be fed to cats. We do recommend that you limit the amount of human food that your cat gets, but having you share a little bit of your food with them is not going to be too terrible, except they might start to develop behavioral issues related to begging. But some human foods that you would be safe to give your cat would be some of the more common, like cooked meat, so cooked chicken, cooked turkey. You might give them, open a can of tuna, they might want a piece of tuna or two, so that would be cooked fish. Some vegetables they can have, so cats aren't going to eat too many vegetables, but some fruits and vegetables are safe. Spinach would be on the list, but in general we recommend that you limit human food to your cat.
Can changing my cat's diet suddenly cause harm?
So switching your cat from one diet to another quickly potentially could cause some gastrointestinal upset, so like vomiting or diarrhea. But cats are actually a little bit more tolerant than dogs when you go to switch their food from one to the other. We just have you see how your cat feels about the diet change if they're going to have some GI upset, but it's not uncommon for a pet parent to feed like multiple different types of canned food and different varieties of them and different proteins, and cats can tolerate that pretty well for the most part.
How does an elimination diet work?
So an elimination diet would be if a cat has some GI issues or some skin problems, we might recommend an elimination diet. So that would be a specific diet fed for a specific period of time, usually without having, we might limit the protein that they get to maybe one source of protein, or we might recommend a hypoallergenic diet. Those would be ways that we would basically eliminate all kinds of food ingredients down to just a very select amount of food ingredients to help manage disease. So that's kind of how a food elimination diet works. If you have some specific questions about harmful foods or how to feed your cat properly, we invite you to talk with your veterinarian or reach out to Blue Oasis Pet Hospital with your cat's nutritional questions.